I might not be in the right state of mind, but I had to get this off my chest. 2 days ago, I came back from basketball, a little early. I overheard my fiancé, Jay, tell her friend that she is settling for me. This friend just got out of a relationship. I don't know what they were talking about before, but I just heard Jay saying that after all the assholes she dated, settling for me will be good for her. She then went on to describe my job and all the perks of being with me. Love is apparently not on the list. Hearing this kind of broke me. I just stood in place, dumbfounded. I don't even think she even loves me. For context, we live in a beach house. I bought it as a total gut job and renovated it myself, and I have several other properties that are all rented out. I work in property insurance from home and do house flips on the side. I'm satisfied with what I've accomplished so far in my life. All of this was worth mentioning for Jay, but not how much I loved her. How much time we spent together. Not how I tried to be supportive of her goals and ambitions, how she wanted for nothing. I'm not going to lie, I was in a bad place. Maybe still am. I spent all of last night going through her messages. I knew her password, I just never looked. Well, it's a pretty common thing for her to say. Pretty much all her friends know what's up. Jay wants a nice, normal guy after all the assholes she dated. She wants a drama-free life where she'll be taken care of. Every time I read what she really thought about me, it was like another needle was being jammed in my heart. My first reaction was to yell at her and confront her about it. My second reaction was to make her suffer like I am. My dear Jay, the love of my life, I thought, doesn't work right now. She quit to be a real estate agent. I don't know, maybe she wanted to learn more about real estate. Maybe she thought her looks would get her by. She doesn't work right now. 0. She also lives in my house. She decorated it and certainly put her touches on everything. But my name is on the title. Just mine. Her car is technically mine too. She didn't qualify for financing on her own, and she just had to have a Beamer, so I co-signed it. I can probably make a case that's my car. We don't have joint accounts, thank the Almighty himself, because she did ask. I pay her cards right now. I want to just show her the texts, throw her poop in garbage bags, and put her out on the street. Would I be the idiot if I did that? Asterisk. Asterisk. Edit. Holy poop, I did not expect so many responses. Thank you everyone for your advice and kind words. I will talk to Jay sometime over the weekend. I think she picked up that something was up. I didn't call her from work like I usually do, and last couple of nights I made an excuse that I was beat and went to bed pretty early. I'll try to read as many replies and provide more information, but I wanted to clarify a couple of things. Regardless of how shitty I feel, I didn't like people calling Jay nasty names. It's partly my fault. I didn't give enough detail. Before quitting, she had a decent enough job. She's not good at managing money at all, but she would buy stuff for the house or gifts for me on special occasions. I never thought of her as a gold digger. She talked to me about quitting and trying to be a real estate agent. She told me she liked the freedom of the profession, and I tried to be supportive. Asterisk, asterisk. Secondly, I don't think I misunderstood her meaning. Maybe she didn't mean it as a negative, but the messages were crystal clear. She settled for me. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. She lives with you and doesn't work. She has friends and family, and frankly, get out from under this dating situation quickly. I would tell her, you know what? She says to her friends about you and heard her talking to her friend. Never did love come into the conversation once. That you want to break up and she must leave immediately. I suggest you bring a friend while you do this, and pack her a bag and have her go to family or friends. She can't say you hit her or said horrible things to her with a witness. In the moment, she will desperately say anything out of panic and abandonment issues. You are dating and don't need to be so generous with her. We date to choose our partner and you do not want to be hers. Comment 2. Nope, not the idiot. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Fortunately, you found out before you became even more entangled or married. It seriously sucks, and it'll probably be a while before you can throw her out. You'll probably have to evict her. A BMW? Really? She's got expensive taste, huh? Well, guess who shouldn't settle? You, dude. You can do a whole lot better, and I seriously doubt she can. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You aren't leaving her destitute. Think of it as you leaving her with exactly what she brought into the relationship. You're not married. You don't have kids. You saw love, and she saw a piggy bank. She didn't quit her job to try something else. That was her excuse so that she could get you to support her jobless. Asterisk, asterisk. Now, for the next story. I, 44-year-old female, was working out at the gym and have seen this woman in her early 30s wear these see-through spandex shorts several times. I myself have been in the position where my pants have been see-through and not been able to tell until someone pointed it out to me, so I found myself in a quiet corner of the gym with her. I walked up and said, "Excuse me, I don't know if you realize this, and I don't want to embarrass you, but your shorts are completely see-through and everyone here can see everything." She replied, "I know, and I don't care." I apologized and just let her know I was trying to be helpful in case she didn't realize it, and she again reiterated that she didn't care. Was that awful of me to say anything? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You should have complained to the staff, though. None of us signed up to see people's genitals through their clothing while at the gym. PSA. If you want to work out and not wear clothing or wearing clothing that is see-through, work out at home. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I think you went about it the right way, and even though you may have felt pretty dumb for the way things went down, I think it was valid to say something asterisk, just in case. No harm, no foul. Go on with your workout. Comment 3. Not the idiot. If my shorts were like that, I would definitely like to know. You just tried to help. If she's okay with it, that's her business. Now, for the next story. My 36-year-old female, husband, 39-year-old male, and I are likely divorcing. We've been married for 7 years, and a year and 2 months ago, I gave birth to our daughter. My husband and I work at the same company and in the same department. Until very recently, I worked as an administrative assistant there while my husband is a marketing associate. I was recently promoted to a marketing analyst, which is one step below associate. My husband was part of an all-male friend group in the department that I believe has helped him at work. His friend group includes a vice president, VP of marketing, who we'll call Ted. Ted's boss is the senior VP of marketing, Allison. I actually got to know Allison because I used to volunteer at the same school where she sent her kids. I know enough about her to know she hates people who disparage moms. For about a year after I gave birth, I was focused on getting myself back on track, health-wise and professionally. However, my husband started getting distant after month 6. Every day it was no conversation but, "Can't you do anything sexually?" and him bothering me for BJs. None of my accomplishments seemed to matter to my husband because he just wanted sex. He fell asleep one day before his phone turned off. I saw a host of notifications and then discovered a text thread between him and 3 work buddies complaining about his apparently frigid wife. I saw responses where everybody sympathized with him, saying they hope he gets sex soon. And then one coworker writes, "At some point, she needs to just lay back and let you do what you need to do and get over doing it." Not PC, but true. Ted liked that text. Then Ted responds, "She's ruining your family. Maybe tell her that and she'll come to her senses. My wife did." This leads to advice on ways to emotionally guilt me. I was furious and started taking screenshots. I was slightly drunk, and when I told my sister, she said since he participated using our electronics, just send it to Allison via his phone because she should know what kind of people are handling company PR. So I did so without any message explaining it, and then also sent a formal email to HR. I then leave the house. The next day, all hell breaks loose. My husband's group gets notices for meetings with HR. My husband tells me to stay away and that a good wife would have kept it quiet. Now the dust has settled, and Allison made it clear she was narrowly outvoted when pushing for his termination. The guy who wrote the "just lay back" was fired. Ted was suspended without pay but reinstated. My husband was suspended, reprimanded, and moved to a different team because Ted doesn't want to work with him. He claims what hurts most is that co-workers avoid him. My husband refuses to talk to me. Never did he acknowledge how the texts would have made me feel. Instead, saying I was snooping, it was private. At this point, I know we are headed for divorce, and I feel drained and humiliated over his texts. Am I the idiot? Did I go too far? He didn't get fired. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. I wouldn't have done what you did because it will have repercussions for you as well. You exposed your personal business to your entire workplace. Only one was fired, so you still have to work with the rest. You made yourself vulnerable and the subject of plentiful gossip at work. I don't know whether to call you an AH, but I don't think you were smart about it. I would have consulted an attorney first, got my ducks in a row, and filed for divorce. Comment 2. The second you sent that to HR, you might as well have filed for divorce. Your marriage is done. I'm not saying he is a good guy. I just want you to acknowledge if you didn't know that was calling an end to your marriage, you should have known that. This will eventually end your ex-husband's career with that company. He hasn't been fired yet, but he is being shown the door. Comment 3. My husband tells me to stay away and that a good wife would have kept it quiet. Tell him a good husband would never have talked disparagingly about it. Good luck with tossing the trash out. Now, for the next story. I am 34 years old and have been married to my wife for 8 years. We have a 6-year-old together. My wife was also pregnant. My wife is very spiritual, and I'm not very knowledgeable about the things she enjoys because I grew up strictly religious. However, if it's fun for her, I never minded as long as I wasn't involved. When my wife was pregnant with our first child, she went to see a psychic to get a reading on our baby. The psychic correctly predicted that it would be a boy with blonde hair, which isn't hard to tell because my wife has blonde hair. The psychic also gave my wife a reading about herself a year before she met me, and the psychic said she would find the love of her life soon. Basically, my wife went to see the psychic again for our second child, and the psychic freaked out and said this baby would grow up to do horrible things, hurt many people, live a life of crime, and cause blood to drip from the innocent. Some real horror movie stuff. My wife believed her and made an appointment for an abortion without notifying me. When she told me she had booked the appointment, I tried to talk her out of it, and she agreed, but then she secretly went and had it done with her sister. In response, I packed up and left to stay with my mother. I told her we were through and that I would be back for my son, but I didn't want to speak to her besides that. I lost a child, and we had tried for months to conceive based on what the psychic said. My wife said I was leaving her at a time when she needed me the most, and she accused me of being a horrible person because it was her body and her choice. She also accused me of abandoning my family because of the control I lacked over her body. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. This is horrendous, to be honest. She's not stable. What happens to your son if the psychic tells her he is going to do something wrong or bad? Jesus, that's crazy, man. She should be ashamed of herself, especially for doing it behind your back. Comment 2. I 100% believe a woman has the right to terminate a pregnancy. I also 100% believe that your wife is an absolute idiot, and I hope you get custody of your child. I am sorry this happened to you. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Pro-choice here. Make sure you get written proof of some sort as to why she got the abortion and sue for full custody of your child. I am also spiritual and firmly believe she needs to be looked at by a psychiatrist. Now for the next story. I had a miscarriage last week. It was very early in the pregnancy. It happened only 2 weeks after finding out I was pregnant. I wasn't very shaken by it as I didn't really want a baby, and miscarriages are quite common that early. I was a little relieved, to be honest. After finding out, my boyfriend accused me of lying and having an abortion. He broke down crying and yelling at me. He said I killed his baby because I didn't want it, and he doesn't believe that it was a miscarriage. I'm not the kind of person who just accepts their partner berating them. I told him to leave and not come back. Since then, our friends and my family called me cruel for breaking up with him and are defending him, saying he was just grieving and I'm a terrible person for not standing by his side in hard times like this. But he literally accused me of lying to him and having an abortion in secret. How is grief an excuse for that? Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You can break up with people for any reason you want. Accusing you without evidence of having an abortion, which in the USA can carry severe legal penalties in some states, is a good reason for you to break up. Another reason to break up is if you're with a person who doesn't agree with you on the abortion issue. Tell your family to get out of your business and get on birth control. If you don't want to have kids, you can't mess around with that. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Grief is a weird thing, but it's still not an excuse to treat you so poorly and to accuse you of lying as well. It also suggests that if you did feel that an abortion was right for you in the future, he would go apeshit mental. Personally, all of this would be a deal breaker for me. Comment 3. Not the idiot and grief aside, it's completely wrong that he accused you of having a secret abortion. I couldn't come back from an accusation like that with anyone, let alone my significant other who is supposed to be supportive. Sorry you're dealing with this, and best of luck to you. Now, for the next story. My brother Jeff, who is 35 years old, and I, who is 32 years old, have had a great relationship. My brother is gay and was previously married to my dear friend Martin, who is 34 years old. However, they divorced 3 years ago. Jeff and Martin had known each other since kindergarten and became best friends. They went to law school together, dated for around 15 years, and eventually got married. Their dream was to become parents, but they both wanted to be biologically related to the child. So they asked me to donate my egg to them, and I agreed because I love both of them and wanted them to be happy. That was it. I never got tested or anything because they didn't want to have a child right away. They wanted to make sure they had a donor and focused on finding a surrogate. For their wedding anniversary, Martin thought it would be a great idea to renovate a beach house that my parents had abandoned. Jeff thought it was a waste of time and money, but he went along with it. They contacted Ian, an architect and contractor who I recommended because he had done some work for my mother-in-law. Some months into the project, Jeff, who initially thought it was a waste of time, became very interested in architecture and the project itself. Long story short, before getting the work done, Jeff broke up with Martin and got together with Ian. The divorce between my brother and Martin was fast since Martin was devastated and didn't fight much. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, Jeff and Ian got married. Despite all this, my family acted as if nothing happened and welcomed Ian with open arms. It's been 3 years and Martin is still devastated. He has many issues, while Jeff and Ian act like they haven't hurt anyone. They have even started investing in real estate. I love my brother, but I try to keep my distance. I have only exchanged a few words with Ian in these 3 years, as I still love Martin and consider him a friend. A couple of weeks ago, my brother approached me and told me that he and his husband were ready to start a family. They wanted me to get tested, but I said my promise was no longer valid since he decided to cheat. I didn't feel comfortable giving my egg anymore, as this has become a more personal matter related to my morals. My brother argued that it wasn't fair and that this means a lot to him. He also told me that I can't break a promise I made. My family, including my husband, is telling me that I made a promise and that this is important to them. However, I don't know if I want to do this to Martin. After all, this was supposed to be his child. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. You are not wrong to feel as you do. I feel sorry for poor Martin. This would probably further devastate him, and while you love your brother, your dear friend matters too. It's concerning how quickly your family has moved on from the whole cheating incident. Also, tell your husband he's supposed to be in your corner, not the cheater's corner. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Tell him he made a promise too. A promise to be faithful to his husband. he broke that promise. Your promise was to donate an egg to him and his first husband, Martin. You knew Martin and trusted him to help raise your future niece. You don't know or trust the man that slept with a married man. Your brother broke your trust as well. Comment 3. Not the idiot. You made a promise to him and Martin, not him and Ian. The promise is now void because your brother couldn't keep his pants on. If the family is so supportive, one of them can get tested. You could also say you got tested and have your doctor tell them that you are unable to donate the egg. Tell the doctor you are being pressured and do not want to do so. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.